and when I was back in daycare. So from the 2nd grade through the 11th grade, when I was in the grade school system in Mississippi, I was paddled.
Right.
I had some paddlings that were quite mild, and some of them that were really severe and that were life-changing.
Wow,
and
life-changing.
I can tell you, one of those paddlings that I can just tell for the viewers here that are going to be privileged to hear this and tonight later on in the forum that I'm going to be speaking at tonight, is that one of those paddlings were so severe that it felt like the world was coming to an end for me.
Instead of allowing the child to want to explore the world, and the children learn through engaging and touching and feeling things. And of course you don't want to let them touch the hot stove. They need to learn that, but you don't need to hit them for them to learn that.
Everybody knows the paddle got to go.
Hi, I'm Paula Flowe, Executive Director of the Hitting Stops Here, a campaign for teaching kindness and respect in schools everywhere.
Were you ever paddled in school when you were a little boy?
Well, once in the 9th grade I received a whack.
What do you remember why?
I sure do.
What was it?
It was in PE class in the 9th grade. I forgot to put my basket that my clothes were in. We went to the locker room, changed clothes to our gym clothes, put our street clothes into a basket and supposed to put it back in the cabinet.
Right.
And I forgot to put it back in, and it was automatic punishment for that was one whack from the PE teacher.
Wow. Was it a male teacher?
Yes, it was.
And was it pretty forceful? Did it leave a bruise, or was it, what do you remember?
I didn't check to see if there was a bruise. I mean, he certainly put something behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But it not only can inhibit their creativity, as you're suggesting, because instead of embracing the world and trying to learn about the world by exploring, the parent will sort of make the child inhibited and scared to interact with the world if they're constantly being hit.
It felt like a shock wave. In fact, I've used the analogy that it's almost a shock wave of a bomb going off.
But we also know from some brain studies that if a child is frequently hit or popped or smacked, that this can release negative, stress hormones for the child. And that we don't really know what can happen, but it can affect the brain development and how the brain is wired, because the brain is being bathed in these stress hormones.
The shock wave, first of all, you feel the intense blast.
Can it become where that child, just those hormones are just present, or triggered easily?
Well, yes, they can be triggered more easily.
I see.
And there's ongoing research to try to understand how these kinds of stress hormones are affecting kids long term. So we don't totally know that, but it can affect their attention level, attention span, and various other aspects of their development.
And the intense heat and the shock wave that literally runs from the tip of your head to the bottom of your feet. And it can literally make you sick, some of the beatings that I've suffered.
So you are totally against teachers, principals, school bus drivers beating school children?
Yes, ma'am, firmly.
Okay, what kind of work do you do?
I'm an LPN. I work for a kidney doctor.
Oh, so you're a nurse, basically.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen any kids who were beaten by their school teachers come to your hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
I have.
Have you seen bruises, bad bruises?
I have, actually.
That time that it felt like, you said, an explosive went off in your body, how many blows did he or this teacher give you, male or female or principal? And were they all feeling just as severe, like an explosion?
Yes, and that's the most critical juncture point I want everyone to understand. It was a male school administrator. This happened at Rosa Scott Middle School in Madison County. And I received 9 blows in that paddling. Many of the protocols that they had called for in the school district handbook were not followed. They generally say that there has to be a witness. There wasn't. The principal, well, the administrator read the Bible to me before he beat me with this paddle.
In a public school?
In a public school. And each blow, from the first one to the ninth one, was severe, it was painful, and it felt just like I was under attack. I was under a military-style assault.
A terrorist attack?
Yes, a terrorist attack. Yes, and then, in fact, let me enunciate that point. Corporal punishment in schools is a form of terrorism.
Yes.
It's a form of terrorism and assault on your body.
Paddled last year in 8th grade. A lot, or a little bit. Yes.
And so that's why I'm committing all the resources that I can for my organization, the Mississippi Coalition for Human Rights and Nonviolence, Mississippians Against Paddling, working in conjunction with the hitting stops here, and my Office of Democratic State Committeeman. I also represent the Mississippi's 3rd Congressional District Democratic voters who've sent me 2 terms, and I'm pleased to say that, and I'm pleased to serve them. But I'm committing my resources and whatever resources that I can bring to bear to bring it into this practice. And so I'm pleased.
Experience with corporal punishment in the state of Mississippi?
Yes, I do. Yes,
All right, would you tell us?
Well, when I was younger, we were playing in school. And I was the teacher, and some of the other students were misbehaving. Of course, we were playing.
Yeah.
And so it was a clipboard, and I paddled one of the naughty students. And we were playing, but perhaps it was a bit hard, the paddling. And so I received a paddle from the teacher as punishment.
For paddling the child that you were playing teacher with?
Yes, ma'am.
It sounds more like she should have said, well, you're doing a good job playing teacher here today.
We want to thank you all for coming today for our rally to support Representative Alma Allen's House Bill 916, which will abolish corporal punishment in Texas schools. Corporal punishment is not discipline, it is really child abuse. We're taking boards and hitting young children with those boards, leaving big bruises on their buttocks. Some of them end up in the emergency room of hospitals. This needs to stop. No child should go to school afraid that they may be hit with a big board. We're paddling kids as young as age 5 in kindergarten. We're paddling high school seniors. Young children have nightmares, extra bedwetting. They're afraid to go to school. And we know through research that paddling hurts schools. It increases the dropout rates, increases the vandalism, and hurts the grade levels. Kids just don't like school and they're afraid of being hit by somebody at school. And paddling is really more of a reflection on the teachers than it is on the students. Some teachers never paddle, while other teachers are paddling several days a week. We have a good method of reducing child abuse up in Tyler, Texas.
We're here because my son's school, men whipping 17-year-old fully developed women pregnant girls, trying to women pregnant girls.
I'm here looking up, trying to find a video that was aired on ABC World News with Diane Sawyer, and it has to do with school corporal punishment. So I know that the title of the video has something related, has the word spanking in it. So I went to Yahoo News, the search engine, the Yahoo search engine, and I typed in ABC News spanking. Right. And the first thing that came up is a notification for me to turn off my safe search settings, because spanking, it says, may contain adult-oriented content. Oh. So my safe search filter must be turned off before I can make this search.
What is that word right there? Could you point to that?
It says turn off safe search. Turning your safe search may result in the display of web, video, and image search result of a mature or sexually explicit nature. By clicking I accept, you certify that you are at least 18 years old and agree to the terms of service.
So you're looking up something that our American school children do to our children more than 2,000 times a day, and you had to do a safety search click?
Yes, I'm looking up just what, I'm a future teacher, so I'm looking up something that I may be required to do as a future teacher to my students. I may be required to spank my students, and spanking is a term that is used often in their Mississippi schools.
Oh my goodness.
But if I want to, as a future teacher, learn about how to spank, I have to turn off my safe search, because this is spanking is adult-oriented content.
So you're Native American, you're Latino, you're brown, you're poor, and so you qualify for being abused and bullied by American educators. How does that feel?
I'm going to speak right now just to the one issue about the racial disparity of corporal punishment in the schools, because this is something that simply cannot be denied. And first I want to explain how the Department of Education keeps these statistics, because it's critical to understand how it is that we arrive at these statistics. First of all, the Department of Education says that probably the statistics are underrepresentative of the number of beatings taking place in the schools. So you can bank on the fact that whatever we do have is, if anything, it underreports how many beatings are taking place. But this is the key to me. First, when a child is beaten in school, they are reported for that school year one time. They are not reported again, no matter how many times they are hit during that academic year. So if a particular child is hit one time or 100 times, it's reported as one incident with the Department of Education. Okay, now keep that in mind when we talk about who's getting hit in schools, because there's been a lot of research on who are the kids, who's being hit. Well, the clearest indication is kids who are poor are getting hit. Kids in the poor rural school districts are the ones getting hit, not so much in the urban districts. But we know for a fact that black children are hit disproportionately. One study showed that black boys are 16 times more likely to be hit in schools than white girls. Boys are hit more than girls, and black children are hit more than white children.
Here in 8th grade. A lot, or a little bit.
When you start crunching these statistics, what you have is situations in which particular black boys are hit so frequently that they drop out of school.
I think that those beatings have impacted your life.
If they had never done nothing like that and explained things to me, right, and things like that, without hit me, trying to punish me like that and things like that, I think I would have finished school.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happens to them? Where are they going to go? What would you do? What bothers me the most, I think, about these statistics is that the kids who are being hit in school are the kids who are already from troubled homes. These are the kids our government should be taking care of. These are the kids our government should show concern for, our government should nurture, our government should help, and they're not doing that.
As the committee members who have not signed, I would like to take a moment and read their names. These are the American Education Committee and Workforce members who have not signed. Chairman John Kline, who is also a committee member on armed forces. So he actually is in charge of children being struck on their buttocks in school and in charge of how many bullets are being sent overseas. He's a part of that committee, okay? We also have senior ranking member George Miller. George Miller has not signed the bill. Andrew Roberts of New Jersey. However, striking children on their buttocks with wooden boards in New Jersey was banned in 1867.
Governor Perry wrote a 60-page Homeland Security report. And inside of that, you're saying we can't stop this? If you notice, if you're able to draw close to this picture, there's a little boy here who was beaten and has these bruises. This happens every 20 seconds across the nation. Every 4 minutes to the point of needing medical attention. We have a 60-page report by Homeland Security and we can't stop this?
We're out at the Capitol hoping to put an end to corporal punishment in Inouye. The organization, The Hitting Stops Here, lined downtown sidewalks to voice their opinion. The Inouye School District is one of the few remaining districts that still uses corporal punishment. Protesters say this method is outdated and they want change.
We in Mississippi are among the last remaining schools that still use this ineffective, brutal practice. And I don't want to be, when I get out there next year to become a teacher, you better not put a paddle in my hand because you are insulting me as a person.
The organization plans to make several stops in the metro area this weekend.
Give me my hand.
I'm a student in City View, America, in Wichita Falls, and corporal I've been getting swats from the corporal punishment, and I told God I went home with some whelps and some bruises, and they had hurt and been swatted probably about 60, 70 times for petty reasons, or small reasons, and
Echo, the super rich street fashion designer. Echo has long been interested in education issues, and when he heard that corporal punishment was still legal, he decided to act. Starting today, he's putting up billboards and launching this website and mobile app, which he hopes will allow tens of thousands of young people to bombard lawmakers with emails, faxes, and phone calls. This is what is actually used?
This is a wooden board or a paddle. And this is the kind of device of choice.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Corporal punishment got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Corporal punishment got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
This is what we want with all our heart, and it's for the best of children. And if we want to really stop violence in the world and everything like that, this is where we have to go, because hitting begets hitting.
What I've seen here today is children and parents who truly want a better education, a better future. And what they've done is they've come all the way down here from Anguilla, Mississippi to make their voices heard. Because this is Jackson, Mississippi, and this is where it happens. If it's going to change, it's going to happen here. It's going to have to, because the schools aren't doing anything. So I see people coming down here, and it inspires me that they would come this way to make their voices heard and cry out for a better future for their children.
So we have Al Crowell here at the Global Summit here in Dallas, Texas. And the other day we were meeting, and I heard you start talking about an approach to parents regarding corporal punishment. What was it that you wanted to add to our event the other day?
Oh, right, Paula. I was thinking during one of the talks that one of the things we haven't really focused on as an approach to parents is their own pain in punishing their kids with violence.
Very good.
I think many, many parents really do not feel good about themselves. And they have to kind of blame the kid for making them do it, but they don't feel good about themselves doing it. And that's another avenue for us to, if you will, sell what we're trying to offer them as different alternatives, is to say, this really benefits you. You are going to feel better about this also.
Very good.
Besides the effectiveness that we know other methods bring as far as short-term and long-term effect, the parent feeling better about themselves and their connection with their kids is an area that I think we could focus on more.
Very good. Now, before I let you go, and that's a very good point, and I've hardly heard that one. Is there a book or a website that you would, if a person's listening to this right now saying, hey, that's true, I don't feel good about myself. Do you have any website you could direct them to where they can just begin learning how to do things differently with their child?
Well, of course, on the board of Parents and Teachers Against Violence in Education, I would recommend that, which is nospank.net.
Very good, yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much, and thanks for your advocacy for our children. And I'm glad to be a board member with you, with Jordan Ryak.
The teachers and stuff don't want nobody whoop their kids with it, so why they whooping our kids?
That's right.
Okay, then.
Book, because we need to do better, and we can do better, and it actually shows how to do better, and it's simple.
No beginning, no end. Tell your mother, tell a friend. Time has come, truth draws nigh. There's a circle in the sky. It's all so simple, really, truly, but we make it so complex. goes around comes right back around and around and around. No need to ask what comes next. Cycles and circles, nothing's new, still all is changed. If our thoughts create our reality, and tell me who controls our brains. Cycles and circles, nothing new, still all is changed. Our thoughts create our reality, so we must control our brains. Did you get your fix of propaganda? Your daily dose of conditioning. Do you believe everything you read and see on your TV? If you do, then I pray for you that soon you will get free from their vicious cycles and circles. Nothing's new, still all is changed. If our thoughts create our reality, well, tell me who controls our brains. Oh, cycles and circles, nothing new, still all is changed. Our thoughts create this reality, so we must control our brains. Oh, tell me who controls your brain, who controls your heart, who controls your life, who controls your love. Oh, oh, oh. Life is a sacred hoop, a gift from the source. There's room enough for all living things. Let nature take its course. Man has never had control. The dawn has now revealed the world of fear. Watch it fade away. For only love is real. Nothing's new, still all is changed. Thoughts create our reality, so we must control our brains. Cycles and circles, nothing new, still all is changed. Our thoughts create this reality, so we must control our brains.